Hey folks, so there's a lot of information swirling around online and being circulated by people about asexuality that isn't entirely accurate. And this is no one's fault, this is just what happens when people try to inform other people about stuff and maybe don't understand something themselves and then pass it on to someone else, and it goes on and on and on. So I'm here, an actual asexual person who's been talking about asexuality on the internet for about 2 years now, to bust some of those myths. So number one that I see very commonly online and in media when there are asexual characters is that asexual people don't date. There are a lot of asexual people who don't date, but what you're thinking of here is aromanticism, which is when someone doesn't feel romantic attraction. Asexuality is just about sexual attraction. So while there are asexual people who are aromantic, they're not the same thing, and confusing them is actually kind of annoying if you're one but not the other. 2. Asexual people do not have sex. I can see where this came from. I actually thought this myself for a long time. According to the Avon Community Census, which was done in 2014, Avon is a website, it stands for Asexual Visibility and Education Network. Of the participants, 35% said they had had sex before. 12.4% said they were currently sexually active. So that's just proves the fact, it's just not true. Asexual people can have sex, and they can have sex for a variety of reasons. The third misconception, that asexual people are scared of sex. Obviously not the case from the last figures, but also not the case just because a lot of asexual people are indifferent to sex or are disgusted but not necessarily scared of sex. And while there are asexual people who have had bad experiences with sex or sexual contact, or there are asexual people who are abuse survivors and therefore are scared of sex in some capacity, it's not like a prerequisite to being asexual. 4, that asexual people's plumbing doesn't work. And by plumbing, I mean down there. I'm not sure where this came from. I think it comes from people thinking that the only reason you wouldn't have sex is if you can't have sex. I'm sure there are some asexual people who have some difficulty down there, and I'm sure there are people who aren't asexual who also do. It's got nothing to do with being asexual. 5, that asexual people have no sex drive. The misconception here is that sexual attraction and sex drive are the same thing. But you can be horny and want to have sex without it being directed at a specific person. And since asexuality is just about sexual attraction, you can still have a sex drive, and many asexual people do. Although, I believe it is more common for ace people to have a lower sex drive. 6, asexual people can't masturbate. Yes, some asexual people masturbate. Some do it just because they like to clear out the plumbing. Some do it because it's fun. Same as anyone else. And finally, number 7, asexual people are just special snowflakes, and the asexual identity is a very new thing. Well, the first published instance of someone talking about asexual-like experiences was a pamphlet that was published in the 1800s. In fact, it was published in 1896 in a pamphlet that was talking about human sexuality. In the 1950s, the X was added to the Kinsey scale. The Kinsey scale is essentially a scale that goes from same gender attracted to opposite gender attractive, and you place yourself on it. The X stands for not on the scale, and that's where asexual people sit. The reason it appears like asexuality is this brand new thing is because before people didn't talk about it, and now with the internet, people are discovering more about it. They're discovering that their experiences are shared by others, so are feeling more open to talking about it. They're learning the new words and adopting those new words. But this is not like an internet exclusive thing. It's just a case of a lot of young people finding out about it through the internet. There you go. That is your happy little guide. I hope you feel better informed about asexuality. And if you want to know more about asexuality, then just check the playlist on my channel called Asexuality Videos. You're sure to find a whole bunch of information, some of which is directed for people who don't know much, some of which is more for asexual people by an asexual person. So it's a mixed bag, but hope to see you around. Bye!